I did not have any part of any plan to bribe any member of Congress. I've served in the legislature, and I want to categorically deny that and denounce the allegations.
He's been the lead story on television news and on the headlines of the local papers on almost a daily basis. Strong allegations have turned up the heat on Utah Attorney General John Swallow. Allegations such as possibly violating election laws. Already, the Department of Justice, Salt Lake County, and Davis County are investigating Swallow. But results from these formal investigations may be slow in coming. The House of Representatives isn't waiting for results.
This is unprecedented, and we're going to have to be very careful as we move forward.
House Speaker Becky Lockhart explains how rules will be established and a committee created to launch a formal investigation.
As a part-time legislature, we haven't done this before in terms of really looking at it in something that requires investigation, if you will, requires our constitutional right to subpoena. That's something we haven't exercised very often, if ever at all.
In the past, the House has established rules for committees, like overseeing retirement, ethics, and management. But there are no rules established for an investigation like this. The rules will determine how many representatives will sit on the committee to investigate, and the partisan makeup of that committee. Speaker Lockhart estimates that will take 1 week. Once that is in place, the formal investigation begins. Special counsel will be hired, as well as a private investigator with full power to subpoena.
We can do that fairly quickly. We can turn that around in a couple of weeks, probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then the committee will begin their work in earnest.
The committee will then make the decision on how to proceed.
The responsibility of the House of Representatives is to determine whether these things rise to the level of an impeachment, right? An impeachment has to do with the public trust, not with crimes. So our determination is, has the public trust been violated? Has the public trust been broken?
Speaker Lockhart says it's a very different standard than you'd find in a criminal case, the standard of beyond reasonable doubt. The House committee will determine whether high crimes, misdemeanors, or malfeasance in office has occurred. That does not necessarily mean more serious crimes committed. It's an offense that applies to people in essentially high positions. High crimes and misdemeanors and malfeasance may include abuse of authority, dereliction of duty, moral turpitude, and conduct unbecoming. It's a standard that ordinary people do not necessarily face. These obligations are clear when an elected official takes the oath of office. But according to the Speaker, those obligations may well extend to the period prior to taking the oath.
If you've been involved in something before taking the oath of office, during an election period or so forth, that directly relates to your ability to function with fidelity while you have that office, I think you'd be hard-pressed to say that those actions, if proven to be true, shouldn't apply.
If 2/3 of the body votes to go into an impeachment session, articles of impeachment could be presented. The House would then debate the articles and another vote called. If 2/3 of representatives vote affirmatively to just one article, Swallow would be impeached.
We want to make sure that we do this very methodically and carefully, because what an impeachment, potentially an impeachment where this may lead, is about, the House of Representatives impeaches an official, which is really an accusation or an indictment, if you will. It's actually then at that point, if the impeachment occurs, that the Senate sits as judge and jury, if you will, to convict. The person isn't removed from office until conviction by the Senate, when and if that happens. And what that does, in the end, is overturn an election of the people, which is a very serious thing that you don't want to enter into lightly.
How long could it take? Speaker Lockhart says it may be a couple of months for this to all come together. The cost of $2 to $3 million?
Well, that's a lot of money. And so you have to balance that against what's really going on here in terms of the public trust. You need to be able to trust that your government is going to be just and deliver justice.
Do you wish in your heart and soul at times that this whole process would just end?
Oh, yeah.
Should it just end?
Well, I can't make decisions for other people. And surely we do have this belief, and this is core to us as Americans, this innocent until proven guilty. And I've really struggled with that. What if this is all made up? What if this is right? And we move forward. I don't want to be in that position. No one wants to do that to an innocent person, right? But remember, the standards are different when it comes to a political process versus a criminal process, so you have to weigh that. But also, we can't just let allegations like this go unanswered. And we've been patient. We've been waiting for these other investigations, and they're not sharing. They're not sharing, and as far as we can tell, they're not moving rapidly in all of this. And so we have a responsibility under the Constitution, when there are these kinds of serious allegations, to get to the bottom of it.
For the Utah League of Cities and Towns, I'm Susan Wood.